Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And on today's video I decided what I'm going to do is I'm not going to give you just one review. I'm not going to give you two reviews. I'm going to give you three reviews of the three most recent movies I've watched. You got to feel for me. I'm feeling under the weather right now, so but I'm going to review these three movies for you. And I do want to let you know there is some spoilers in these videos, in these reviews. So if you haven't watched these movies, you might want to, come back and watch it a little bit later. If you're also not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel, guys. I do videos every other day. So let's get into it. Toy Story 4, of course, picks up with toys now with Bonnie and everything, and then, of course, Bonnie makes this new toy called Forky. They go on an adventure, they find Bo Peep and everything. To be honest, I thought this movie was very lackluster when you compare it to the previous Toy Story movies. I felt that it was more along the lines of like how 2 was. I'm one of those ones that felt that the third one was a great finale. We didn't need no more Toy Story movies. But also, I feel Pixar is not doing a good job on their movies like they used to do, because I thought Incredibles 2 was very lackluster compared to the original one. It's still a good movie and still definitely worth the watch, but I don't like the ending to this movie. I think going the direction that they went was not a good direction, but that's just my opinion on it. What are your guys' thoughts on Toy Story 4 if you watched it? Like I said, it's definitely not one of my favorite of the Pixar movies, so that's where I kind of feel where Toy Story 4 lies. Brightburn, a story about a boy named Brandon, a kid that was sent to Earth to basically take the world. Basically, it's another adaptation to Superman. What if Superman was evil in a ways, or did not go with the philosophy of being how Martha and Jonathan Kent, helped him. Of course, they didn't use those names in this story. And basically, this is a kid that just likes to kill and is being driven to kill, I guess, from what the ship is and everything. And to be honest, this movie was actually pretty good. I did not really get into it, and a lot of people really love this movie, and I didn't like it as much as others people did. But I do think it is one of the best horror movies that we've gotten this year. So it is definitely one that I will revisit and everything. And of course, if you don't know, I kind of judge my movies on how many times I rewatch it, and this is definitely one that I will pick up and watch every now and then, and is definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen it. Xmen Dark Phoenix, or X-Men Last Stand 2.0. Either way, that is what this movie is. Basically, this movie was definitely not the best X-Men movie there is, by far, but I will also say it is by far not the worst that we've gotten. Actually, I look forward to my X-Men rankings video here soon. I'm actually doing it now that I've actually watched this movie. But Dark Phoenix, it had a lot of problems with this movie, even back in production times and everything. And then now after watching it, I wanted to watch this movie in theaters. I was really interested in Dark Phoenix at first, and then when Fox went over to Disney, it made it where who cares? Who gives a shit about this movie at that point? And I think that's where a lot of people were on this movie. There was no point in it, so therefore that's the reason why this movie bombed so much. Me personally, it was an alright movie. It had some good elements in it, but like I said, it by far is not a good X-Men movie still. There is a lot more better ones out there, but it also was better this time around with the Dark Phoenix storyline than it was in The Last Stand. So I definitely would say it is a decent movie to watch. At least, get a good opinion on it. Don't just go by what everybody says and saying where they basically say it's the worst one of all and all that kind of stuff. It's one of the worst comic book movies. It isn't. But you can even tell by a lot of the acting in it that they're not even into it. They don't want to be there. It just, especially like Mystique's character, I can't even think of her name right now, but anyway, you could tell she didn't even want to be in this fucking movie and everything. They diss on Cyclops again in this movie, but he does get a lot more action time than he has in previous X-Men movies, so that was kind of cool. The ending of the movie was meh. I did like some of the action scenes that was in this movie and everything, but I mean, the movie is very forgettable, and I've already basically kind of forgotten already about it. It wasn't one that's going to stick with me for a few days, like previous X-Men movies are. Like I said, I'll put it in my review, in my rankings, and kind of show you where I would put this movie. If you did like the way I did this video with the 3 movie reviews, the setup and everything, let me know in the box below. If you didn't, also leave that, so that, because your feedback, guys, is very critical on how I continue on doing my videos. If you like it, I'll keep doing it. If you don't like it, we'll move on and I'll try something different. So just leave your comments in the box below, guys, and until next time, that has been your reviews of these 3 movies.